Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the second half of this double feature. Right off the bat, is everybody feeling full kind of like I am, or is anybody else just feeling tired kind of like I am? It's a double half feature, and I know I'm sweating. I'm in the air conditioning, and I know I'm sweating. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. I really appreciate everybody who's been here so far today, and I appreciate everybody that's coming specifically for this event today. My name is Harrison Young. I run Next Run Productions. We're not going to do the full introduction of what we did last time. We're going to jump more right into this. We have a table reading that's available for you to watch here today. And before I even go into it, I wanted to give space for an opening act. Last year, we had a great playwright who was a part of the Next Run program, J.P. Shuffman. And with this, he had written a play called Alas Ajax. He wrote a play that had some themes that I kind of like playing into what I've written here. And I just want to give that space for him to be able to represent his work one more time. So JP, if you would come up, please.
Hey everybody. This piece takes place right as the main character has been, it's been explained to him that he's not getting the promotion that he wants, and then this happens. Do not. It's okay. It's okay. You merciful heavens, help me. I am begging you, do not let me be mad. I have to, it's okay. It's okay. How could this happen? God's bloody broken bones, how is this justice? I know what the world is. I know better than to ever ask for anything more than my fair share, but by God, I know I have earned better than this. I have earned it. I earned it 1,000 times, haven't I? Haven't I always done more than my part? Haven't I always stooped a little and smiled a lot and made myself small to make sure they knew I know my place? How many long days, how many weekends have I sacrificed at the altar of my work? Always when the job was hardest. Always when someone couldn't go on or couldn't come in. But the work wouldn't wait. And I was always the one who did it. Me. I was always there. Ajax the steady. Ajax the helpful. Ajax the best. The best, they would say. Ajax, you're the best. Thank you so very. And how could we ever, and where would we be? And always keep up the great work. All the devils in hell. 15 years, and I never pushed. 15 years, and I never made an issue when the raise didn't come, or the hours got long, or the load kept growing. No. I just kept my head down and did double what was asked, and then double again, and then double again, and now to be robbed of my reward by those walking conflicts? What can I do? Oh, you towering ministers of vengeance, if this is your just reward for thieves and traitors, then I disown you forever. But let me just have them here. Just here. And all alone, I will render such terrible justice upon them that the world of man will gawk and shriek at the havoc I have done.
See, our play's not exactly like that, but it's kind of like that. No, man, I knew somebody once that said, it ain't acting if you're not spitting. And I was like, man, so I love it. So I really appreciate everybody being here. This is a play that I originally started writing, I think, in 2019, and then finished in the summer of 2020. Unfortunately, that was a hard time for theater for reasons. I think many of us remember what was happening around then. We were home many times, and that was hard together today this way. We want to bring the script out. It's been an interesting script for me because it's a play that I think has marked a turn for the type of play that I've been writing. I've normally written comedies, and while this still has comedic elements, I feel like this is a turn into a different genre that I'm still kind of discovering, sussing myself out on. I call it a psychological exploration about the guilt of responsibility. And so with that, some of y'all may be thinking, here's what you know about responsibility. And I don't know, but I'm trying, right? And so I want to explore some things about this, and we're going to have a good time with this. So I've got a dream team of people that I'm honored to work with here. I wanted to introduce them by the role number and the actor names in just a moment, but I'll point out their names first. First of all, to my right, we have my niece, who has come with a wealth of experience being Zazu in The Lion King, and is now acting in America for the first time. Next up, Jennifer and I have known each other for a long time. I believe we first met, I'm guessing here, in Callie Meister's workshop back in 2008.
Yes, and doing Shakespeare.
And doing Shakespeare, yeah, that was about that same time. I was doing it in 2010. I've maybe seen you even before then with it. So, yeah, I've gotten to work together with a long time. I've always admired her work. Being a director especially, I really enjoyed what you did with The Loving Memory about 4 or 5 years ago. In fact, you did a great job. I'm so glad to have to be part of this. Jennifer Aldridge! Next up, maybe the newest person I've gotten to know in this way. Rain has been performing since coming into town. I want to say you're an upcoming sophomore at UT. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes, sir.
And he's been working really hard. I really enjoyed his performance in Sandbags. That was with the Tennessee Stage Company's new play festival for the table reading and stage reading. And we bumped into each other randomly after, was it Moulin Rouge?
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, and it was just like, hey, can we just figure something out? Yes, and here we are today. Rain! And I wouldn't be doing right by my brother if I didn't point out the shirt that Rain was wearing. Next up, we have a next rung alum in the cast today. Barry Wallace is here. You saw his work earlier in 4 Steps Forward. Barry and I have known each other, I think, longer than we've actually met each other. I first heard of you whenever you were doing Sounds of Knoxville podcast, whenever you were highlighting my play, Flame Goes on the Purple Stage that I was acting in back some 12, 13, something. Why am I counting years ago? We're going to stop counting numbers. They hurt after a while. But we got to work together in Loving Memory back when it was a different title, and then you got to be into the Next Run Productions program and crush it with Wolf of Badenong that some of you have seen. And I'm so glad to see you come back as Barry Wallace, everybody. Next up, maybe the person that I've known the longest here. Jamie and I used to go train together at UT, and so we have different classes. The one I think of is Caramel Jenkins class 320, and man, we had to work on it, but we got better from it, didn't we? And then you got past the Stop Kiss, and I was so happy to see you good, and then just been working ever since then, even lived together in New York at different times, not together, but like, you know. And so, now that we're back here, you saw her earlier in 4 Steps Forward, we're about to see her again. Jamie Hicks! Last, certainly not least, we have a friend of the program coming back, Marisa Diaz. First met her about a year and a half ago, I'm guessing, with the Tennessee Stage Company doing their new play festival, basically the Night of Shorts that time, and rocking across a variety of performances. Been rocking it ever since then, too. And so you came in to help with the stage directions of the last Ajax last year, and we're so glad to have you back. Marisa Diaz! I think we're going to have a great time. This reading's going to take about an hour and a half. We'll have some slight effects along the way. We'll be dimming the lights. We'll be having slight sound effects and things like that. There won't be an intermission during this. Afterward, we're going to have a talkback session with the dramaturg, Christina Scott Sayer, who you met earlier today. I'm going to step away and make sure that the camera is in fact recording. I would like for each of you, Marisa, if you go down this way, I'd like for you to name your actor role, like the ID number. ID number like jobs, right? And then also the roles that you're playing alongside your name, and I'll be right back. Go ahead.
My ID number is number 5, and I'll be playing Madeline Hill.
My ID number is
number 6, and I will be playing Thereska, Fungible 6, and Rebecca Hammond.
My ID number is number 3, and I will be playing Nathan St. Clair.
My ID number is number 2, and I'll be reading, number 4, my bad. And I'll be reading for Justin Guthrie.
My number is number 1, and I'll be reading for the grandmother and also for Amber Dean as an adult.
My ID number is number 2, and I'll be reading for Amber Dean as a child and 3 months.
Great, thank you. And I'll be reading stage directions. So if we could we dim the lights a little? A little more comfortable. All right. Actors, are we able to comfortably see the script right now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good, sounds good. So, without any further ado, Afraid of the Storm by Harrison Young. The scene is the rural side of town, home, call center, and more. The time is mid-storm. Afraid of the Storm, the first scene, the quantum storm. The storm weighs heavy. A grandmother, number 1, looks around her house for her granddaughter, number 2. She catches a glance of someone in the distance outside during a flash of lightning. She rushes to the front door and shouts into the abyss.
Amber, get back in here!
2 minutes.
2 minutes, nothing. I mean now. 1, 2.
Amber waddles in, dripping wet on the carpet, and tries to walk past her. Amber stops to kick her shoes off by the door.
Ain't nobody ever told you not to play in the rain?
I wasn't playing. I was on a mission.
Well, whatever you want to call it, I don't want you to get sick anymore.
I know.
What if you got struck by lightning?
I know, Grandma.
And it's so dark this time of night, I'll bet you have a hard time finding your way back. What if I had already retired to bed? The moon's not even out.
I was trying to find Quantum.
Quantum, really?
I was looking at all her favorite hiding places. I looked under the porch first, then the rain started coming down harder, so I was like, oh dang, I gotta go fast.
Quantum.
And I didn't want you to think I was trying to get pneumonia again, so I took your old jacket.
Grandma takes her jacket and shakes it off at the open doorway before hanging it on their coat rack and shutting the door.
That slowed me down a lot, finding it, but then I checked under everywhere. Daddy's car, Janice's truck, the shed by where Mama normally parks when she picks me up. I was about to go to the barn too, but I saw a red flash and I was like, woo, little doggy.
A red flash, is that right?
I froze for like a whole minute, I bet, but I heard her meow again, so I started to...
Honey, Quantum's been gone 9 months.
I heard her meowing though.
That could have been any old cat.
No, that was Quantum's meow. And then I saw her run to the barn.
You saw her?
Yes.
Was she what I saw run away when I hollered at you?
I think she's behind that barn, Grandma.
Well, we can check in the morning. Now, grab a towel and dry off. You look like you lost a fight with the 7 seas.
Yes, Grandma.
She grabs a shirt laying on the back of a chair and ruffles her hair with it. She looks outside.
Do you believe in ghosts?
She ain't dead. She probably just lives with a neighbor we haven't seen in a while.
Can we go knock on some doors tomorrow, like at Tiffany's house?
I don't know, honey.
Or Danny's house?
I don't know.
Or hey, I bet Nathan does.
No. How about I just call some people?
Can I call them instead?
That'll be fine. I'm getting some milk. You want anything?
Amber shakes her head no. Grandma goes to the kitchen. Amber watches her leave the room. Then she grabs a phone book and flips through the pages. She finds a neighbor's number and dials on a corded phone. She taps her foot as it rings.
Hello, is this Mr. St. Clair? Hi, so I know it's late, but I really need to talk with Nathan, please. Grandma said I could. It's about my cat. It's about my cat Quantum, okay? Just wake him up. We're saving lives.
Grandma returns, sees Amber and sets her milk down to rush toward her.
I said we're saving lives, Mr. St. Clair. Tell him to meet me at the barn.
Hang up that phone.
Amber holds the receiver close, but Grandma snatches it away and hangs up the phone.
What do you think you're doing?
You said I could call the neighbor.
Yeah, tomorrow, at a decent hour when the storm blows past. You are really something tonight.
I'm sorry.
Did you really hear Quantum tonight? Amber Dean, did you really see and hear Quantum?
Earth out of orbit. The power goes out and the house is completely dark. Their telephone rings once from the electric shock.
Well, never mind. Tell you what we won't do. Go the heck back outside.
But Grandma,
Don't look at me like that. I can't even see you, and I know how you're looking at me.
I know it's scary, but you gotta think about how scared Quantum was.
I said we're not going. The storm's right on us, and I just can't be that irresponsible with you.
Aberdeen cries.
Stop that. You're going to wake Janice, and then we're all going to be upset.
I just miss her so much.
Listen, it's for your own good. Better safe than sorry. Oh, come here.
They feel their way toward each other and hug.
You heard that phone ring a second ago.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what made that ring? It wasn't Nathan calling you back, and it wasn't Mr. St. Clair calling to chew you up and spit you out for yelling at him either. I raised you better than that.
I said I'm sorry.
That phone rang because of electromagnetic fields or some stuff surging through the phone, okay? And if you'd been on that phone right then, your eyeballs would have lit up like a nightmare, honey. That would kill you.
Okay.
You remember your little friend across the street, Teresa? Tereska, yeah, that's it.
You always get her name.
Hush, I'm trying to tell you something. Tereska died from being on a phone in a storm.
I know, Dad told me.
Yep, she was just a little older than you are now before lightning got her. Fried her from her fingertips to her forehead. I heard they found her with the phone still against her ear, and there ain't any conversation worth that. That's why Tereska's family moved away, okay? I don't want that for you.
Okay.
The storm's still shaking the house. It's coming hard. You understand that, right, darling?
Yeah, guess so.
You think you saw your sweet little calico, right? Grandma has your back in the morning. First thing, too, if the storm's passed. I need you to focus during these storms, though, and protect yourself when you're here. I can't explain this to your father if something happens.
Okay, then.
I mean it. We need you inside and off the phone.
I understand.
Okay. Hey, I'm glad you used my jacket.
Thank you.
Let's get some sleep. We've got a big search tomorrow morning.
Love you lots, Tater Tots.
Love you lots, tater tots.
They feel their way to their bedrooms.
Oh, and I'm going to take the flashlight with me.
Oh, come on, Grandma.
Where's it at?
The flashlight didn't even work anyway.
I saw you turn it off outside when I yelled for you.
It was probably just the lightning.
Well, in that case, where's the flashlight?
Hold on.
Aberdeen feels her way to the coat rack. She screws off the end of the flashlight.
Well, come on.
It's stuck. Hold on.
The batteries slide out and land in the coat pocket. She hands Grandma the flashlight.
Here you go.
Thank you.
She clicks the flashlight's button on and off. No light comes out.
Don't work.
See? Duh.
I see what you mean.
So can I have the flashlight back now?
Have you tried putting back in those batteries you just took out?
Huh? I didn't.
The back of this flashlight's missing, and I could hear you sneaking them out.
No, I didn't.
Then why did you want this non-working flashlight back? You know what? Who needs the lights tonight? Keep the batteries. You were trying to keep Grandma in the dark anyway.
It's not fair.
Responsible and fair ain't always the same.
You're not being either of them.
Bite your tongue and apologize.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to find Quantum so bad.
And I'll help you in the morning. Good night.
They find their way to their bedrooms in the dark. Aberdeen cries.
One day, 50 years from now, when you're my age, Aberdeen, you'll realize deep down that I protected you. You'll forget this pain.
Their doors squeak as they close. A red flash of lightning cracks, brightening everything near the strike. Next scene, the signature storm. 50 years past that flash. Nathan, number 3, uses his key card to enter a room in Trident of Hyde LLC. He turns on the lights, then hangs his poncho on the coat rack and dusts himself dry. He notices the floor below him is wet, so he grabs a paper towel to wipe up every wet spot. When he thinks he's got it all dry, he grabs another paper towel and wipes it down one more time.
Better safe than sorry.
He tosses the paper towels, then prepares his desk for the day. He lifts a piece of paper, then looks at the clock and looks back at his paper.
Phooey.
Justin, number 4, arrives and closes his umbrella.
Good morning. Nathan, right?
That's right, Justin. Good to see you again.
Great, yeah. And just been a minute since the interview.
Ha, I get it. Welcome to the nesting period.
They pound fists.
You ready for today?
Sure. This is the right room, right?
Oh, yeah.
Madeline, number 5, and Rebecca, number 6, walk in together.
I don't know if I'm prepared for actual calls.
Me neither, but whatever. At least it's dry in here.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Nathan fist bumps with Madeline and Rebecca.
I hope you brace yourself for lots of questions.
That's what these next 2 weeks are for. Hit me with your toughest.
What if it's something you've never seen before?
Well, that shocked the phooey out of me. You're about to meet the only other trainer, onboard trainer, who's been here longer than me. And I think between the two of us, we can piece something together.
Nah. With my luck, I'll probably find something that stumps everybody.
I mean, with that attitude. But hear me out. You're all going to be fine. You're her last class before she retires in 2 weeks. So really, you're pretty lucky. Grab a seat anywhere you like.
They sit at the nearby table.
Pretty cool window here. Most call centers' only good view is the computer monitor.
Speaking of which, I thought we were getting computers after training. After nesting.
We're making sure we get the core concepts down in these next 2 weeks of calls before you get the full technology. Also, budget cuts. In the meanwhile, though, you get headsets and dialer access.
Yay!
Yeah, I get the sarcasm, but come on, the instructional books aren't too bad. It's going to be a good time. Don't let a little rain dampen your big day.
What about a lot of rain?
You just don't know how to handle this rain. Get fit like me, and you'll learn to dodge every raindrop.
Nathan takes on a half-hearted dodging pose.
Do we log into the phones now?
Go ahead. Did Jess have you practice last week?
Yes, Mr. St. Clair.
My dad was Mr. St. Clair. You can call me Nathan. So yeah, about last week, did anybody talk with you about final security papers? No? Final paperwork?
Final paperwork, yeah. Jess said you'd bring more forms for us as assigned during nesting.
Yeah, phooey.
Amberdean, number 1, walks in soaked.
And here comes Mama Bird.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
She checks the coat rack and finds her old jacket was left in the office overnight.
Knew it.
Dad, you look like you got baptized twice.
Yes, that's what happened this morning. I got baptized twice.
Everybody, this is Amberdean. She's our most senior onboard trainer now, which she just loves to be reminded of.
So much.
Sorry, I gotta do it.
Just like I have to remind people I'm younger than you, and I definitely look it too.
Yeah, they have a cream for that nowadays.
Hey everybody, how are you doing this morning? Okay for a rainy Monday morning at least, right? My name is Amber Dean, and I just wanted to introduce myself before we take calls today. I'll be helping you with answering questions that test you this week and next. Basically, if Jess's job was to teach you the beginning concepts for tried and applied, my job is to enforce these beginning patterns in your first calls. I'll also protect you from the weird questions you don't have an answer for yet.
Like, what is the meaning of life?
To sell used phones with tried and applied.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. Are we good to go? I figure why wait.
There is something about...
Yeah, Madeline brought something up earlier. Jess said I'd bring the last of their security forms in last week.
She mentioned that was getting done, yeah. Did you handle this already?
She knew from last Tuesday I lost access.
Amberdean opens her mouth but pauses. She drops a sigh and changes her course of action.
How about we do introductions while Nathan prints them off for us? Do you have access now?
Martha's email said she'd do it Saturday. I haven't checked on it yet.
Great! Go check.
The RV party, people.
Nathan leaves.
He thinks he's so bad. Okay, let's get started with you. What's your name?
Hey, Amber. I'm Justin.
Hey, Justin. Amber Dean, please.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. My full name's Amber Dean Garrity. I just don't know how I can get people to call me by my both names correctly the first time without making a big deal about it.
I get that.
Anyway, that's my cross to bear, not yours.
Is this how your introductions usually start?
It is.
Oh, okay.
My dad's name was Bradley Robert Hampton, but he went by Bradley Robert.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, dual names.
Sounds really fancy.
Yeah, too fancy sometimes. Not Amber Dean, though. No offense.
Is this your first call center, Justin?
Oh, this is my first job, period.
Welcome to the workforce.
Thank you, Amber Dean.
There you go.
Just trying to be the man that I want to be.
Amber Dean notices Justin's name tag.
Oh, your name tag is a typo.
Oh, no. It's Justin with an O.
Oh,
I bet I know what you're thinking, though.
let's see.
And no, it's pronounced just like Justin with an I.
Yeah, good prediction.
It's kind of sweet, though, actually. My mom predicted when I would be born the day she knew she was expecting, right? And it turned out she not only got the exact date right, but the hour and minute, too. It's crazy, right? She celebrated this by calling me Justin with an O, like I had arrived just on time.
That is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Did she know she could have just as easily kept it the I and said just in time?
Nathan waltzes in with the paperwork.
I know we're all excited to smile and dial, but while you're putting on your headsets, I need you all to sign these.
Yeah, go ahead and look these over. The first page basically covers consumer privacy, and the second one's about understanding your rights in case of an accident at work.
Rebecca and Madeline sign their forms right away. Justin reads every word of his form.
I also printed off the refer a friend sheet as well. Never hurts to have a friend here.
Nathan and Amber Dean share a glance.
We'll get to the other introductions later. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone.
I have a question for you.
Yes, Justin.
Well,
Oh, come on, you can tell us.
what if we're not ready to make calls yet?
I thought you said you were ready. You sure you were ready?
You asked me if I was ready, and I said sure.
This is that part of that communication issue we talked about, Nathan?
Oh, no. Was I failing
No,
to...
not you. Carry on.
Maybe my heart rate's still up from driving in this weather, but I'd like to wait another week.
The water's fine, dude.
Yeah, you won't know if you can swim until you step into the pool.
This is the shallow end, too, before we take off the floaties.
You'll be doing backstrokes in no time. You got this.
This is kind of a long metaphor.
Oh, I haven't even dove in yet. Dive.
And as always, you went on too long. Let's get to the point of why we're all here.
Checking headsets.
The new training class puts their headsets on.
Nathan and I will be plugged in to help you along the way. You've got 2 supervisors for 3 people on the phones. This is going to be pretty favorable for y'all.
Aces.
I'll go ahead and plug in with you first, Madeline.
Yes.
Nathan connects his headset with Madeline's phone.
Miss Garrity, you need to plug in with me until I get a few sales.
Sure, and we can knock out our introductions up between calls.
She pulls a seat up.
I'll plug right in when you get an answer. Sometimes it takes a minute.
Be on standby, please.
Of course.
Let's get to work.
I like your attitude. Let's get to work.
The trainees dial their phones. Justin takes his headset off and holds it while his phone rings.
And, hey, any advice you could give would be helpful too, like life advice. This whole thing's new to me.
First piece of advice, keep your headset on.
Next scene, the Aural storm. Lightning crashes outside, causing lights to widen. Zeus then lands an electric curb stomp on the Triumph LLC. Light bulbs go out as Justin's right hand jolts in pain. Nathan, Madeline, and Rebecca fall to the ground, screaming and holding their heads as the room goes dark.
What the heck just happened?
It is pitch black.
Ow! Nathan, Rebecca, Madeline,
The emergency settles in.
Justin.
He lifts his head and sees the aftermath.
Holy. Is this really happening?
Wake up, Nathan.
Amberdean pats his face to no avail. She shakes the surrounding bodies.
Where's the first aid?
She searches for the office's medical kit.
Call 911.
He pulls out his phone and dials.
No reception.
What?
No, yeah.
She checks her phone too. No reception.
Tower must be down.
I'll check the doors.
He pulls out his own keychain flashlight to shine.
They automatically lock down during power outages.
He checks anyway. Locked.
Let me try your key card.
She tries the card herself. No good.
You got keys to this place?
Key card. No keys.
Which means...
It's locked down, Justin. For the love of... Where is the first aid?
I don't understand how you get to be one of the most senior people here and not get, like, a guaranteed key to enter and exit in and out.
There's levels, okay?
How much higher you gotta be?
It's not about that.
You've been here how many years now?
31 years, and not in one time in the 21st century have I seen a metal key used here besides to get into the supply room. Oh,
What?
first aid's in the supply room.
Do they need CPR?
Amberdean checks Nathan's pulse.
His heart's pumping.
Good.
No burns either, but
She checks Madeline and Rebecca for a pulse.
them too, but like, feel this.
He leans in to check their pulses with his left hand, but gets shocked upon contact.
Ow! You're playing games.
No! That hurt!
Did you just use the hand you fried?
Right hand got zapped, left hand... Oh. Well, it was fine.
Do it again. Maybe that was static electricity.
I said no, Amberdean.
Okay.
I know you're the boss, and I know we're at work, technically, but, like, you're not the boss of me right now. Not at a time like this.
I'm not trying to do anything.
And seriously, that hurt me.
Well, there's some kind of pulse here, so they probably just need some time to wear off after the shock.
Lightning flashes.
Does this happen a lot?
What? No, this shouldn't be happening.
Well, it did, and it hurts.
I guess some of the equipment is old, but like, this place is so well grounded.
Huh?
It's grounded here.
I don't know what you mean.
Didn't your school give you an ASVAB test?
Just tell me.
Okay. So, electricity can run through copper, like what's in our headsets, right?
Right.
But call centers nowadays run through fancy computers and digital distribution boxes, surge protection, stuff like that. So there's a setup where those computers get short-circuited before anything zaps people like us.
But it takes electricity to run things through our end, right? Like from the distribution computers or whatever to the headset wires.
Our headsets don't use as much copper as phones used to, so they just kind of fry up before they're hurting anybody.
Uh-huh.
And even if electricity did get through, listen, call centers look out for their employees. They have this technology to prevent what they call acoustic shock, basically making sure these kinds of shocks never cause oral damage.
Like to the mouth?
To the ears, oral?
But the technology broke down.
I don't know, man. I just read about it once. Our systems are supposed to protect your eardrums from damage, okay? That's that.
Justin shines his light on the fallen bodies.
Well, it's a good thing nobody suffered any oral damage.
Shut up.
In fact, I bet they can hear me right now.
Shut up!
Hey, Rebecca! Good news! Work protected you from the one thing everyone's mother and their neighbor told you not to do as a kid when it's storming out.
Amberdean grabs Justin's shirt and drives his back against the wall.
Look! This has never happened before on my watch. I've never even heard of a call center pulling people off from weather conditions.
Seriously?
That's right, you snarky little jerk. I don't know how to solve this, okay? My friends might be dying. Same for at least 2 other employees. Never mind who else hurt. Whoever else is down outside our training area. Your hand is hurt and we're trapped. So no, this doesn't happen a lot.
Amberdean shoves Justin out of her room.
Sorry. I can see how this frustrates
Stop it. You sound like our customer service.
you. Right.
the fall once. Edward. It was Halloween and he got his bad leg tangled. It swung him nose first from the floor above into the window, right about eye level with where you are now. The window didn't crack, but his skull did, twice. Once from the glass, once from the sidewalk.
Ooh. Well, this view feels different now.
He was nice. Guess he's been at Curly Hassel Nursing Home since the settlement.
What about vents?
They're all out of reach.
Any weak walls?
No, just walls.
Still no reception?
Amberdean checks her phone.
Great, now it's dead.
No way.
He pulls his phone out.
Mine too. What the? Susan! Firecracker! Hot dang!
Amberdean nudges Madeline with her foot.
Oh, this is gonna be a lot of paperwork.
You're still thinking about work?
I mean, I don't know what else to think about for them. Freak accident, no 911, CPR won't help, can't access the supply room.
There's gotta be something we can do.
What? What is it we're supposed to do, Justin?
It's not like I have the answers.
And I don't either. But that doesn't seem to stop me from grinding my gears about it.
Fine!
Just don't get it.
This isn't the day to throw this at me.
You gotta listen to me.
Oh! Listen! You mean like when you told me to put the first step at being the man I want to be was to put my headset on 2 seconds before some bolts hit the earth?
This is clearly a freak accident.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can't see that shows how incredibly little you know about the world.
It's not like I wanted to be here anyway. I only took this job because of a stupid flyer. A flyer just told us you're responsible for hanging up.
That's my job.
Yeah, well, then this is your job too.
Oh, I'm sorry I was doing my job, but
I just wish you'd act like you have some responsibility for us being here.
this just isn't the time for this conversation.
What else do you want to talk about? What else do you want to talk about, Amberdean?
She turns off her flashlight.
I can't turn out the lights on this.
She walks to the corner of the room.
Not like this.
She slides her back down against the wall and cries.
Right.
He watches her. He turns around with his flashlight to see what else is happening in the room. Nothing, just bodies. Before shining back on her, the rain picks up.
Responsibility. I'm responsible for a lot of things, but your life ain't really one of them. Not really.
Wow.
Yeah. Since we have workplace insurance protecting the building and company, a lot of the accidents that could happen here fall under that. You also waive your rights to sue this place when you come on board with us.
I didn't sign that paper today.
Huh?
I was still reading it before the lightning struck or whatever.
Well, I don't know what that means for you and the company, but you won't be able to keep working here without signing it.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, a stupid flyer brought me on board too. You're not some isolated victim here.
Her back slides further down the wall as she looks out of the window.
When it rains, it pours.
I don't think I've ever seen it rain this hard before.
It hasn't hit this hard since probably before you were born.
Do you believe in karma?
I swear, if you are trying to pin this on me again...
No, I just mean like, maybe I did something to deserve this.
Trust me, this ain't about you.
Grandma told me last month I had to get a job.
Good grandma.
I didn't handle it well.
What happened?
I said her head was messed up and I kicked a plant over.
Dumb move.
Yeah, dumb move. Now she says I have to move out so the flowers feel safe blooming again.
I like her.
Yeah, she's great. I messed up.
Just buy her something nice with your first paycheck. She might like another plant, for example.
Yeah, good idea.
You're young. What you did ain't anything above a grandma to forgive.
You ever mess up with your grandma?
She looks out the window.
Son, I've seen both ends of it.
He looks out the window with her in complete darkness, turning off his flashlight.
That's my car in the parking lot.
it rains. That's my F-150 Lightning facing us.
Is that electric?
It's called a Lightning. I think they're all electric.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lightning flashes again. The bodies for Nathan, Madeline, and Rebecca are facing them in this bright moment from the other side of the room.
I've seen a lot of people come and go.
What, like working here?
Yeah, but I mean also like in general.
Yeah, I heard about their retention rates.
No such thing as retention rates in family and friends.
I meant for work, though.
And I just said I meant it in general.
Sorry.
It's like you almost listen. Almost.
If you don't want to talk, I can go without talking too. Easy.
Time passes. The rain becomes louder.
Edward was eye level, huh?
Eye level.
No. Eye level.
Something funny?
Did you ever see Spider-Man?
Which one?
2002's?
Yeah.
I think it was 2002.
What about it?
You know that big scene in Spider-Man where Peter kisses Mary Jane upside down?
They gaze outside into the abyss.
This really is your first job, isn't it?
Sorry.
You know, I remember watching that movie in theaters.
Movie was a big deal back then.
Sure, I took my parents and my children. There's this one part where Tobey Maguire has to choose between saving a bunch of strangers or saving Kristen Dunst.
Classic problem. We've all been there.
Do you remember this?
Of course I remember it.
Well, I remember it too, for a good reason. Our movie theater, right there, in the middle of that scene, lost its power.
Really?
For something like an hour and a half maybe. Yeah. We lost electricity and were literally in the dark about what he was going to do.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't release that power outage in the DVD release.
Must have given you a lot of time to think about who you would have saved.
Yeah.
So, who would you have saved?
If I was Tobey Maguire, I would have saved both of them.
Well, what if you were Amber Dean with the cat lady grandma jacket?
I don't... Hey!
Just saying, am I wrong?
It reminds me of my grandma's favorite jacket. And I'm a grandma to a darling young girl, Sabrina.
And the cats.
Well, anyway. So I gave Sabrina one of my cat's kittens, whatever.
Cat lady family, got it.
Anyway, my dad and stepmom were complaining about who would refill the popcorn during the Spider-Man outage. So I just took the bag and got in line like everyone else there. While I was waiting, though, I got to thinking about that scene a lot. And ultimately, I was stuck thinking more about the guilt of responsibility than which choice I would have to personally make. Most of the people would have only been able to make one of those choices instead of both. They even have the ability to make a choice. And it's totally human to feel bad if you can't save everybody's life. Wouldn't you feel bad if you couldn't save everybody?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Most of us want to be heroes, but we're not. Just not. I don't know. I just think that tough situations can make any decision feel bad.
Well, we can't all be Spider-Man.
No. I would have saved Kirsten.
Final answer?
It's all hypothetical, so why not?
Man,
What?
it explains why after the lightning strike you checked on Nathan twice before anyone else.
Next scene, the fungible storm. Lightning crashes nearby, scaring them both.
What the crap, man? We gotta get outside access.
She turns around and turns on her keychain flashlight. Nothing is there anymore. Nobody is there anymore.
Justin?
Yeah?
He turns around and sees nothing in her light. He turns on his keychain flashlight to be sure. Still nothing, still nobody. Complete emptiness surrounds them. The rain fades away and leaves them alone. A new perception of reality begins, one deeper to her core. first step. A scream in pain is heard nearby.
Oh, the doggy.
Justin grabs Amberdean with his right hand and pulls her back.
Shut up. They might have heard you.
They hear more violent grunts before the sound of bone hitting a filing cabinet.
What is going on?
I don't know.
Are they coming for us?
I don't know.
Screams erupt beside them.
Over here.
They scurry together to perhaps a safer place. They shine their lights to where the sounds came from. Two bodies emerge from the abyss. One of them, number 3, drags the other, number 5, by the hair.
You should have taken the test.
No!
You should have just taken the
I
test.
said no!
Number 3 spins number 5 around and slings her to her knees.
I'll have to fire you for this. Do you understand?
I couldn't have done it!
Then that means
You know I had to take those days scheduled off.
you normally work Mondays and third Tuesdays.
But I already requested those days off and you gave them to me. Don't be like that!
Your workers' comp still demands you take the test within 24 hours.
You're punishing me!
I'm maintaining policy.
No, you're punishing me. It was not my fault a coworker told me I needed to push a child out of traffic.
He told you wrong.
Yeah, under your management.
Don't go there.
And let's talk about that drug test. When you took me to the hospital Sunday, I filled out the paperwork agreeing to be tested right then and there. They failed to test me when they had me.
But the policy.
You can't call me 23 and a half hours later on a day you granted me off to say I have 30 minutes to prove I'm clean. I'm clean! I signed the paperwork after being clocked at 40 miles per hour trying to save her under your watch. I'm clean. Don't you dare jeopardize my workers' comp for this. Not with the wages you pay me.
The policy clearly states within 24 hours.
Screw that policy. I was out of town for another job and you knew it when you called me.
You needed to hold the hospital accountable for testing you. You signed off on it after all.
Are you kidding me? I was knocked out until about 5 minutes after I arrived.
But you felt good enough to leave town to work somewhere else the next day.
What? You think I felt like working the next day? You don't think I wanted to get fired from 2 jobs?
I can't save you from yourself.
This is not my fault. Test me now, open book.
Within 24 hours. Insurance won't even look at you if you peed in a cup now.
We're still within the week. Come on, it's Wednesday.
Within 24 hours.
This is going to show up in my record, isn't it? And count against me for future jobs because I didn't accommodate for your negligence. I can't believe you will have my back here.
I'm just doing my job.
And I just want to keep doing mine too. Come on, you were my reference here. You know me. Tell them I did the right thing.
I'm sorry.
I was doing the right thing.
Number 3 raises his hand for a downward strike to number 5's neck. Amberdean and Justin turn their heads and turn off their lights before the strike. Number 5 cries in the dark. Amberdean and Justin turn their lights back on to see number 5 crawling away. Amberdean turns her light to see number 3 walking away.
Call me when you need a reference again.
Number 5 hangs his head and walks into the darkness.
What was that? I think we had a vision.
That was wild. Did you know them?
Several like them.
What kind of answer is it? You know what? No. I can't stay here and keep doing this. We have to leave.
That's job abandonment.
You're kidding me, right?
Yeah.
You already know I can't keep working here.
Right. Are there even walls here?
There are spots where the light stops shining.
Can you walk past that though?
I don't feel compelled to. You do.
The last step I took, somebody nearly became roadkill.
Right. All right, then. Guess we found some walls then.
They wallow in defeat. Justin wanders a bit while Amberdean keeps him in her sight.
Do you have any responsibilities in your life?
Yeah,
Like what?
I have a son.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. 2 months old now.
And you just got your first job?
You sound like my grandma again.
Oh, sorry. Congratulations.
Thanks. Just trying to be
Yeah, the man I want to be. I got it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
He turns his head away.
What's his name, Justin?
Junior.
Justin Jr.? Justin with an O, Jr.? Justin Guthrie Jr. Well, that's cool. You predicted your son's time of birth like your mother did for you.
I guess 3 months late.
Oh.
Preemie, baby. Can't predict everything.
Yeah,
Shook everything up, you know?
I'll bet. Listen, spelling Justin with an O is just fine in the grand. No, I mean it.
All right.
I don't know, man. At least you have responsibility going on. I've been teaching Sabrina lately.
Granddaughter?
My granddaughter, yeah. I just gave her the runt for my cat Klondike's latest litter of kittens. She's wanted a cat a long time, and my other kittens were squishing this one too much for her own safety. So I started off easy. I let Sabrina name her as long as she fed her some milk when she came by. And she named her Thunder because she looked like thunder. Which, I mean, you can't look like thunder. She could have gone lightning then, or rain cloud. Whatever, it's named Thunder now.
Precipitation.
Huh?
She could have called her cat Precipitation.
She's 10.
Right.
So, Sabrina had warm milk from this little kitty bottle every day for the next few weeks. Thunder kept growing and eventually got to where she was eating cat food every day. Pretty strong now for a cat her age.
So it's her cat, but it lives with you?
Oh yeah. I'm the human she barely tolerates. If I had things my way, I would have named her Brimstone or Spitfire. Sabrina's the human she loves.
That's tough.
And animals. I'll catch Sabrina slipping some of her food down her between meals, too, like I used to do. Probably why they get along better.
Pretty cute.
Yeah. Hot dogs, chicken, things like that.
Good eating.
I think she got away with giving her some tater tots once.
Is that bad or something?
I mean, I used to give my cat tater tots, but they were more homemade back then, and we didn't know any better. Internet nowadays says not to do that if they're processed.
Humans shouldn't be eating processed food either.
Yeah, well, I'm not half the cook my grandma was. The point is, Sabrina really shouldn't be doing that either.
It's weird how the expectation can change like that, but I get it.
It's hard to change your past for your future. You'll see.
Get over here!
Not this again.
An office chair falls over in the distance.
Get down!
Emberdine and Justin split ways and crouch with their flashlights out. 2 more bodies emerge. One of them, number 6, slings the other, number 3, by his tie.
I say get over here! We have to celebrate you!
I was just doing my job.
Not just any job, a good job.
All I did was close an account.
Not just any account.
My first account.
Your first account, that's right. Around here we have a tradition for that.
What's that?
She pulls out a pair of office scissors.
We cut their ties.
Whoa.
Come here.
No.
What, aren't you proud of work here?
It's not that.
Then what's the matter, new guy?
I really like this tie.
Pretty old for my tastes.
It's not your place to decide.
If you're partial to it, it's just a tie. I had my favorite one cut back in my Wall Street days.
It's not replaceable like that.
No, I get it. Mine wasn't replaceable either. I never found another paisley print pattern I like again.
I mean, it's not replaceable. It was my grandfather's.
She lets go of his tie.
Oh, word?
Yeah, word. It was the last thing he gave me before I moved here, hoping it'd help me get me a job.
Explains the pattern on it. In a good way.
Passed away 6 months ago. Today.
Sorry to hear.
Thanks. So you'll excuse me when I say you ain't cutting this.
She blows out a deep breath as she puts away her scissors.
Well, I have bad news, buddy.
I said you ain't cutting it.
No, I hear you. Calm down.
Then what?
You're all right with me, but it's my boss I'm worried about now.
This isn't about you.
No, I got you. I got you. What I'm trying to say is she's a big believer in tradition.
Traditions change.
Not this one. She's the same one who cut my tie back in the day. And then she cut it again when I came here 6 years ago. Ever since she hired me here, I've not seen one person stick around who went uncut.
you'll have to understand.
You remember Chip from yesterday?
The guy who high-fived me too hard after closing his first sale? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Chip's not here anymore, and that was her nephew.
You're kidding me.
Her rules. I think he took the job for granted.
But you understand my situation.
I know.
I talked to her about this.
I tried to yesterday about Chip. She told me to leave the office.
There's got to be a way to get through to her.
I've known her a long time. It's not happening. She keeps the ties as a sign of loyalty.
That's crazy.
You should see her safe, man. Build with him. She can barely lock it anymore after all these years.
So then she doesn't need my tie too.
She doesn't need your tie. She needs your loyalty. And so does everyone else here who have their ties cut without excuses. I like you, but listen. You just moved here, and I know you don't have any references in town. You need your tie in that safe.
Are you a good cop, bad copping me? I can bring in a different tie tomorrow. Don't just stand there and pity me. Say something.
Your grandfather wanted you to get a job with that tie. Don't let it cost you a job. This town isn't that big. I don't normally do this, but
She pulls out $60 and puts it in his hand.
get yourself a real nice tie after work. You'll deserve it.
He takes her money. She takes a deep breath.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, folks, you know what time it is.
She grabs her scissors.
Let's congratulate another first sale and welcome our big go-getter into the family.
She motions for his tie. He sets it in her open hand.
Say something.
Huh?
Say something to make it feel better.
Your grandfather would be proud.
She rears her scissors back before the flashlights go out. Snipping can be heard in the darkness.
You make the right decision.
The flashlights return. He sits on the ground with his head down. His grandfather's tie is cut in half, dangling from his now bloody collar. She holds the other half of the tie up high.
All right, wrap it up, everybody. Let's go home.
She drags his body into the abyss.
Do you know these people?
Nathan called me that day.
I mean, it looked like him, but
I never knew how hard it was for both of them.
what? Are you really both sides in this?
I already knew it hurt Nathan. Nobody cares about middle management, though. She lost a friend and still answered to her at work every day. She lost $60 to help with one of her boss's victims.
She didn't have to do any of that. Those were her choices.
She made sacrifices to uphold systems that she didn't agree with, yes.
Justin turns off his flashlight and walks somewhere, anywhere, and Berdine follows.
You don't know it yet, but this just isn't your nightmare. You don't see the depths of it all, young'un. You're just scared for the easy half of these things. One day, deep down, when you have your own career in your rearview mirror, you'll see what I see too.
What's that?
A lot of standing by tough decisions.
Despite the undue harm being done, though, right? Am I supposed to be sympathetic now?
Tell me what you see, man.
I don't need a full resume to know what I see.
What do you see?
Unfair, irresponsible power imbalances.
You're not wrong, but like, enjoy your innocence while you got it. They are gone, aren't they?
Yes,
Where did they go?
one went that way.
And I'm going that way.
Thunder walks back. She falls backward in fear.
Zeus says, not today.
Shut up!
Does your flashlight ever get hot?
If I use it a bunch,
Oh. Mine's pretty hot right now.
well then turn it off then.
He turns it on.
Still warm.
Batteries don't just chill instantly. Don't take me so literally.
Just saying. Kind of funny, though. We both have cell phones we could use for light first.
I don't want to be stuck in the dark just because my phone died, like, you know, now, for example.
That's fair.
Plus, these batteries almost never die. Beat 'em. Justin, why do you keep a flashlight?
It helps with exploring the woods at night. You?
Wait, you go into the woods at night?
Yeah, but, like, not stupid about it.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Nightcrawler.
Anyway, that's why I bring a flashlight.
Light won't help you when you stumble across 3 coyotes.
I don't go looking for coyotes.
It's not about looking for coyotes, it's just weird, man, and dangerous.
Heck, a knife.
Oh, great, a knife. A sword wouldn't save you. Just be careful.
So what do you do with your flashlight?
Helps me find what I'm looking for. Duh.
Well, what are you looking for?
Usually my keyhole when unlocking doors lately. I don't know. I just don't like to go without it anymore. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
How long have you been going into the woods at night?
Long time. Most of my life.
And your grandma just lets you?
Fought with her all the time about it.
Oh.
But there was this old abandoned treehouse I always liked, so that was part of it. I always wondered if there were more out there.
So you like the mystery of what's out there?
Yeah.
I like the discovery of what I know is there somewhere.
What was your favorite discovery?
With a flashlight? Not sure. Might have my answer when we find an exit out of this place. I might even ask those people arguing what we need to do if they come back.
What? No!
What other choice do we have?
They don't seem to care about each other. They sure do care about us.
They don't have to care. They have to get me out.
It's too risky.
Is it riskier than keeping our lights on them?
Whatever. Just don't get me hurt out here too if things go wrong.
I'm a grandmother. I'm always making sure that the children don't get hurt.
Ouch. Did you have a worse discovery?
Yes.
That's not what family does to family.
Oh boy, here we go.
The sound of glass breaking is heard.
Hey, that's my picture frame.
We're trapped.
They lay flat on the ground with their flashlights facing ahead. 2 bodies emerge again, number 5 and 6, grappling each other like bulls locking horns.
Let me go! I can't. I said let me go.
Number 5 slings number 6 away.
That's me! Which one?
I can't let you do that. We need you.
My family needs me. My actual family.
I know they do.
My grandmother passed away and I have to be there.
I know.
The last thing I need is you haggling with me over my bereavement leave.
We need you too.
You're not my family. I don't care how many mass emails you send saying that. My blood and ancestors come first.
They square off, circling each other.
Who do you spend more time with?
I swear, don't even try that question on me.
All right, then, don't even worry about your coworkers here. Fine.
Fine!
But let me tell you something. These are peak days and hours for the company, and we are already badly struggling this season. Everything here relies on your performance and my performance the next 3 days. I can't cover for you that whole time.
I've told you I needed help for a long time. We could have trained someone to cover me by now.
Not with what we've been having doing so far. We couldn't justify the budget.
You can't justify me skipping a family funeral either, but here we are.
Just take 1 day off.
You're not haggling me out of my bereavement leave.
Number 6 charges at number 5 and misses. They circle each other again.
Do you have any idea how offensive that is?
The flashlight's burning out.
Mine too.
Alternate.
Their flashlights take turns being off and on like a slow motion strobe light. Seconds of light and darkness appear at a time.
We need you.
I know. That's why I already offered to only take 2 days off instead of all 3 like I'm supposed to get.
We're gonna lose more contracts, and then our whole factory is gonna be out on the streets. You'll be job searching too, and then we'll all be unable to pay the overhead here.
The policy clearly states 3 days bereavement for immediate family.
I know.
I know you know. It's not my job to prepare for this. It's not my job to make the policy. I warned you about it anyway, and you did nothing.
I'm gonna speak up.
Please don't.
Please don't put us in this position.
Hey!
We've been in this business 30 years this year, a family business.
Do you hear me?
And we brought you in and made you central to our operations.
Are you even listening?
I don't think they understand you.
I don't think you understand. What's it going to take to keep you here, huh? Is it money?
You ain't got the money. It's just about letting you loose for 2 of the 3 days I'm promised.
Is there any way you can just take one day off?
I'm already compromising.
Can you do one day and we'll give you the extra days later?
I have to travel, you know this.
Travel quickly then.
My grandmother lived 3 states over. We can't all just teleport where we want to be. That takes time to travel. She helped raise me. Goodness gracious, you don't think I want to see her one more time? You got to see your grandmother's funeral last year. You don't think I want to see mine too? Would you have liked it if you lost your bereavement leave right when you needed it?
A flashlight turns on after its pattern of darkness. Only number 6 can be seen.
Hello?
The other flashlight turns on and reveals number 5 behind number 6. Number 6 turns around. Number 5 raises her leg for a kick to number 6's ribs. The lights go out before contact. Number 6 loses her breath.
Oh! Why?
I said we're family. I better see us here instead of the unemployment line.
The flashlights turn on again. Number 6 walks away, hunched over, while number 5 walks off.
I am sorry to hear about your grandmother. We'll send flowers.
Are you okay?
Any chance you got your knife on you?
Policy says no knives here, so.
Good. Flashlight's still hot, scorching. Let's turn them off a minute, or like a while, whatever.
They go dark.
I thought you might have followed them out of here.
Thought about it. Got scared.
Me too.
So, I guess this is it then. Just 2 people scared of the dark.
Nobody's really scared of the dark, you know?
Well, it's in the dark. Yeah, I know.
You really hung flyers up all over town, huh?
Part of the job. I mean, it's not part of being an onboard trainer per se, but times are tight, so now it's part of the job.
Do you like this industry?
This is not the day to ask me that.
No, I mean, I'm still gonna need a place to work. Somewhere when this madness is over.
Well, I can't speak for everywhere, but we're rated best in the industry.
Cool. Saw that on your flyer. I sure wish I could tell, though.
Sorry we couldn't read the future today, but sometimes you get paid to deal with work's problems. Those problems come in all shades.
What if I didn't know about problems like these?
I'm not rehashing this conversation with you. You'll have a new job in due time when you see someone else's flyer and phew, you're really something today. My flashlight's still warm.
Mine's still burning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might be my hand. It's been stiff and hurting since my headset fried.
Then switch hands.
No, yeah, it's still kind of warm.
She checks her pockets.
Any chance your cell phone's got battery power in it?
He checks his phone.
Still dead. You?
I don't know. My phone's missing now.
It's safe.
She shines a light on her pocket for just a few seconds, long enough to see her pocket is empty and pulled inside out.
It's not here. It should have been right where I keep it.
She turns her light back off.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
This is concerning.
I'd offer to call it, but, you know.
I keep it on vibrate anyway.
Hey, maybe we'll find it and then it'll be your new best flashlight discovery. I don't know. I miss my dogs. They're braver than I am in the dark.
Do you have a pet family?
Girlfriend has 2 dogs I guess I'm about to move in with. Siegfried and Roy.
Shut up.
True story. Siegfried and Roy. Grandma's keeping her cat though.
Girlfriend's not afraid to keep the dog with your boy?
They're small. One's toothless and neither one has much of a tail. We think it'll be alright.
You know, I think I've only heard it rain as hard as it was today once before.
You mentioned that earlier. When was this?
I was 10. No, about 10, I don't know. If you were there for it, you'd remember.
You're making it sound like a hurricane.
Might as well have been one for us. We don't get real hurricanes here. Plus this one had red lightning.
No way. You shut up.
Bet me.
I've never heard anyone talk about red lightning.
Me either. But I swear on anything you've asked of me, Mine didn't let me either. I did it before she noticed.
Did you and your little flashlight sneak out then?
I had a real flashlight, yes.
So you were looking to find something.
I had the coolest cat,
What kind?
Calico. She was sweet around people's feet, even though she lost one of her own feet as a kitten, or lost a paw, whatever. Nobody knew how that happened. Big old cat, too. She would look so small, and then stand so tall for these leftover treats I'd give her. She never liked being picked up, but otherwise, I couldn't find a nicer cat.
What was her name?
Quantum.
Kind of a fancy name.
Is it?
You said precipitation was too big a word for Sabrina to name her cat. Quantum's kind of fancy too.
Precipitation was a stupid idea for a
It
name.
was just an example.
You named your son Typo Jr. I'm not listening.
At least I could settle on a single name and work, Dean. Get over yourself.
The point is, I had this friend named Thereska, and she thought Quantum would be a cool name.
Quantum the Calico.
Yeah,
Calico Quantum.
you can just call her Quantum.
Okay.
And I was looking for her.
Why were you looking for her? She was already living there.
She was missing 9 months. 9 whole months. But I caught a glimpse of her outside that night. Do you know how many times I cried missing her? Or how many times my dad told me he didn't know what happened to her? 9 months worth. That's how many.
That's a lot.
It's crazy, right, that she came back?
It's great that you found her.
Justin,
What?
you remember asking me about my worst discovery? Grandma found me and called me back inside before I could get her that night.
That grandma was mad.
Oh, yeah. It didn't help that I was still trying to sneak outside that night, you know what I mean? She promised me we'd go searching for Quantum in the morning, but it kept storming so hard until late in the evening the next day. So we eventually got to that point. We got past the places I already looked over the night before, this time with no meowing to help us search. We finally got to where I thought I saw her run to behind the barn, and I was right. I found Quantum, unfortunately, laid there in my spotlight, looking like, I don't even want to say it, singed fur was everywhere. Grandma was sad. I know she was sad. I never forgave her reaction. All she said was, "That could have been you." She never said, "I'm sorry." Never said, "You were right. Maybe we could have saved her. I wish I would have trusted you." Nothing. "That could have been you." Just like my friend on the phone. That could have been me. We had the evidence in front of us. So I get why she felt like that, but it's still traumatizing on a child. Right, Justin? Justin?
The last scene, the thunderstorm. Red lightning strikes, revealing she is alone. She is surrounded with a faint red tint.
I've heard this storm before.
Sabrina, number 2, charges past her with a flashlight. She grabs Sabrina by the arm, allowing Sabrina's momentum to spin her in a circle. She then grabs Sabrina's flashlight and shines her own beam back onto her.
Where do you think you're going?
We lost our Thundercat.
What happened, Sabrina?
You know how she's usually on the screen board?
Yeah?
She's not there. All the other cats gave her mine.
It's okay. Listen.
It's not okay. I know 9 or 10 places I want to check real quick.
She breaks free with her flashlight.
Wait!
I'll be right back.
Sabrina!
Thunder!
Amberdean starts to go after Sabrina, but she gets tangled up getting her keychain flashlight out of her pocket again. Once she forces it out, her phone rings. A classic landline phone ring. She checks the pocket she emptied earlier and finds her phone is now there. She sees who is calling.
Thereska.
She answers the call from Thereska, number 6 on speakerphone.
Get away, you dork. I'm on the phone. Well, then go tell her. But Mom's not going to like you interrupting her show. Well, go on then. Danny, are you still there? Sorry about that. Nosy sisters. You know how they are. I know it's late, but I just wanted to call you and say I was thinking of you. Were you thinking of me too? No, you weren't. carry my boots too? Oh, come on.
The rest of his mother knocks on her bedroom door.
Hold on. I know you're counting, Mom. I'll be off in like 40 seconds. Yeesh. Mom's mad. I better go. I think I miss you though, all right? I miss you.
Lightning flashes. The phone call distorts itself into static. Amberdean drops her phone. Fast beeps conclude the call. Amberdean picks her phone back up to disconnect the call and pocket it. She searches.
Sabrina? Sabrina May, get back over here. I need now. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4. Can you hear me, Sabrina? Sabrina, where are you looking, Sabrina? Let Grandma help you. Thunder! Oh, Thunder! Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Couldn't have picked a night with the moon out, could you, Thunder? Thunder!
She turns around and her flashlight lands on Thunder number 2, dashing away before freezing in the spotlight.
There you are. Come here, sweet pea.
Thunder raises her tail.
Acting like I betrayed you, huh? That's how it's gonna be. I'm trying to save you.
She approaches Thunder.
Stop treating me like you're feral. You drank milk from a bottle. Sabrina, I found her. Come back here. Just hold on a little longer, Thunder. Sabrina, holler if you hear me.
She kneels with a hand extended toward Thunder.
We've seen each other every day of your life. Why are you making me work for this? I come in peace, little friend.
She inches towards Thunder. Thunder swipes her hand and darts off.
Ow! You flea bag. Son of... Sabrina May, meet me at the screen porch.
Amberdean gets there first.
Sabrina! Hard for it to get much worse than this.
Her keychain flashlight bulb flickers before going out.
Phooey.
Sabrina returns.
Get over here.
Did you find her?
Yes. Why didn't you answer when I was calling for you?
I would have come if I heard you.
Well, that was our chance. She scratched me and ran.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Quantum's fine.
Who's Quantum?
Thunder. Thunder's fine. She's over by the barn.
There are rats there, Grandma.
So you know she won't be hungry.
No, big rats. Many big rats. Would you want to sleep with big rats?
I don't think you realize that all animals sleep out there. It's a big world with a lot of little critters.
Well, as Thunder's new mama, I'm not having that.
And as Thunder's new mama, as a grandmama, I'm responsible for your life. So you better watch how you talk about your choices here. She'll be here in the morning.
You never liked Thunder, did you?
I've hated storms for a long time.
I mean my Thundercat.
That's not true.
Then let me save her.
You ain't Spider-Man, and you're not going out back there tonight either.
Why are you being so mean? She needs us.
We tried already.
I can go to the barn and back in like 2 minutes.
I can see how this frustrates you.
And look at the lightning stop.
It can come back in 2 seconds flat.
Don't you see I'm serious?
It's not about being serious.
Don't you love me?
More than you know.
Well, my art teacher taught us if you love them, let them go.
This is not the time for school lessons.
Thunder could be struck by lightning, Grandma.
Stop yelling and let Grandma think a second.
She rests her head in her hand.
And stop shining all that light in my eyes.
Sabrina lowers her flashlight, which captures Amberdean tapping her foot.
Tell you what we can do.
She looks to the skies.
What we can do is give you 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes, not a second longer. You stay on the path to the barn. You call for Thunder, okay? You don't go inside the barn. You stay in Grandma's sight. And you don't run at all unless I yell for you to come back. Anything could happen in a flash, and it's imperative that you listen to me. Is that understood?
Yes.
Is that understood, Sabrina May?
Yes, ma'am.
And hey, one more thing. Your parents never hear about this. We got a deal? We got a deal?
Okay, Grandma.
Then okay. Love you, Tater Tots. I'm counting on you right now. Go. 1, 2,
Thunder! Thunder!
Sabrina steps out with her flashlight.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
appears and walks to Aberdeen.
24, 26, 30.
Quantum rubs against Aberdeen's leg.
Oh, hi, baby. I never forgot you.
Aberdeen rubs on Quantum's head while the lightning strikes shift from white, flickering to red.
23, 24, 25. I know, Quantum. I know. 26, 27, 28, 30, 32, 35,
Red lightning flashes all around her.
40.
Thunder rolls with a slow fade to blackout. Rainfall and curtain call. Ladies and gentlemen, that was A Friend in the Storm. I'm so proud to bring this to you, to the public for the first time. Before we begin the talkback session, I want to first of all thank our wonderful cast again. As Christina comes down and prepares for the dramaturgy, I did want to make one quick announcement in case somebody saw it in the program. We do have upcoming works to be aware of regarding new plays and local playwrights. I want to touch on that real quick. First of all, Tennessee Stage Company has recently announced for their new play festival that they are open to submissions. That has opened through August the 31st. So if you plan to submit a play, please do during that time to be considered. Also, talking about the Tennessee Stage Company, next run playwright Jeanette Brown has gotten a play selected, Landscape of Color. That will be their winter 2026 world premiere with the Tennessee Stage Company new play festival. So congratulations. Also, we have The Watchers by Tom Eubanks. That is with his company, Theater 23. And so he'll be having his world premiere with that in about a month. That'll be July 25th through August 3rd at Old City Pack. Some of you guys seen enough Next Run production shows to know that they've done some shows there at Old City Pack, and that'll be where that's at. Similarly, same location, Pat by Lisa Sullivan. She has written a one-person show about Pat's Summit. That will be October the 2nd through October the 26th, also at Old City Pack. Two more things. Snallygasser by Barry Wallace, another Next Run alum right there. Hello. Also has a spring 2026 world premiere coming up. We can't quite announce the specific details yet, but there is super good news ahead. And I just want to share, as somebody that's been running Next Run for 5.5 years, to see two of my playwright alums get to where productions are happening. I can't speak to how proud I am of you guys. So can I get one more time? We do have some newspapers up front of Blank News. You can find them throughout Knoxville. It's where I'm getting to, the newspaper covers a lot of the art scene there. And fortunately for the past year, they've been letting me write an interview-based column called The Writer's Way. And so we have the latest issue that is Greg Congleton, who's here tonight, who has been interviewed for that. And then for the next month's issue, keep an eye out for that. There will be a tribute from Brandon Gibson featuring interviews from Marble City Opera. So just several of the ways we're trying to keep the momentum going for new plays and local playwrights. If you enjoy this sort of work, please continue to look out for that. That's how we grow the circle, and making sure that our writers are supported. So with that in mind, I see Christina sneaking through the darkness. Christina Scott Sayer here. Please take it away.
So I had the great honor of being offered the opportunity to dramaturg this play as part of this process and to look at it with Your answer I don't like. You're just gonna get us.
I'll tell you. Thank you.
Look at it from a literary eye, a critical eye, script development, staging, what would how would a director approach this play, how would an actor approach this play, and there's so much interesting stuff going on, but I don't really care share what I think. I know what I think. I don't know what you think. So the first question I want to ask, sort of everyone, you all included, is how would you describe afraid of the storm to a friend?
Workplace surrealist horror show?
Dig it. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
I actually had the opportunity to do that because somebody said, "Where are you going?" And I said, let me tell you and come with me. But I described it as a play, well, I mean, because we've had the opportunity to discuss it, but it really is a play about examining responsibilities to family, to friends, to work, where those lines are drawn. But I said, but there's an element of the metaphysical in it that you completely don't expect, and that's what makes it, that gives life to some of the issues that are being represented in the show.
Absolutely. I agree with both of those things 100%, and one of the conversations that I've been having with Harrison is this a horror play? And what does that mean? And how do we approach something like horror on the stage? I think about, I come from a Shakespearean background, so I think about John Ford and John Webster and the work that they were doing with horror and viscera on stage. And so I was thinking about the fungibles, the dark vision creatures on the stage, and how the metaphorical, psychological violence of the workplace is made visceral and real in this play. And that's one of the things I think is really interesting about it. So with that in mind, what was the scariest part? What scared you? Mine was being denied time off.
We appreciate your work.
No, no. That's what, all right, we're not going to see me here on Wednesday.
Coming across the cat in the thunderstorm first time, like I really been struck, it was a disturbing image, even though it was suggested.
Okay, fine, I guess.
I don't think that was funny.
No? Ooh.
The red lightning.
The red lightning. And does that speak to you as an audience as a supernatural element?
Yes.
What sort of, I mean, if you could, pin down what type, you have a type of supernatural element that it felt like to you?
I think for me it's just like, the storm is like that's a normal thing you can be afraid of, everyone understands that, and beyond that, there was this other thing that's like, if I'm seeing it correctly, like it's like an internal storm, kind of like a moment where like things kind of happen to her mentally that sort of like maybe she remembers in that way or she experiences in that way that are supernaturally different or psychologically different from just the regular fear of a regular storm.
I saw ghosts of horrible jobs past. That's really what I saw.
A Christmas Carol experience.
I love working toward the end. This would be where Ebenezer Scrooge is, waking up and doing things differently. You let the daughter walk out into the storm. We're going to do things a little differently now. I saw very clear tones in that kind of flavor.
As you were experiencing the progress of the narrative, the sort of timeline of the play from Amberdean's youth through this this day, this liminal eternity, who knows, in this call center that becomes sort of a nowhere space, and then leaving that into the red storm, how did you as an audience experience that last scene? Was that a scene of reality? Was that a scene of a vision, of a memory, of a dream, of a hope? How did that reach you? Was Amberdean really there? Was that situation really there? Or was that an internal storm? only this time watching it through was when, I don't even know if this is true or not, because I'm also not quantum anything, a meteorologist either, is when you're told, you know, if you see the lightning and then you count, that's how far away the thunder is, and that counting being almost like it's getting closer, it's getting closer, it's getting closer, and then quantum's there, and what does that mean, and all that. So that was one of the things that only this time through did I have that sort of neuron fire correctly.
The last scene felt like a vision to me.
Of a memory or a future vision or?
Well, she is herself having a vision of the cat coming back to her. You know. And I mean, it'd be in real time to me.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you all think of the two cats, Thunder and Quantum, being portrayed by the actor playing young Amberdean and Sabrina, and how that relates to the Fungibles as being shadow versions of other people? Yeah.
As a technical director, I was worried that we were going to have like a cat on stage, like having like the doing, and not really, just like the staging of putting a cat on stage. Maybe just because of the reading, I wasn't 100% clear that she was playing that role. So like I heard her doing it obviously, but I wasn't sure if the actress was going to be portraying, like if she was going to be standing on stage, or if it was going to be illuminated some other way. I think it could really work for them. I think it'd be very cool to view. I mean, just because it all mixes up in there, and right, like everything just seems really convoluted. It seems to me like that's kind of the progression of the story, right? Like it sort of starts out with this very clear thing that happens, right? And then we go to the workplace, and everything really, like time starts to get weird, and space starts to get weird, and then in the end, it just seems like everything's just really, I mean, all of it's kind of mashing together in a really interesting way. So I think I think stylistically, we absolutely have young Amberdean being a cat, or being talked to, or whatever it is, but that, I think it could totally work in the surrealism.
Hey, Ms. Grace, speaking to the author's intent, what was your sort of thought behind the Fungibles as a whole, but also especially, you know, Nathan is playing Nathan Fungible of the Upper East Side Fungibles. But then you also have this sort of animorphs situation where young Amberdean Sabrina is playing fungible cats. He's something lovely. Would you like to speak to that sort of as you were in your process and creating those characters?
Sure, I'm happy to. First of all, thank you everybody for being here. I think the most serious thing I can say today is you can't train a cat. You need a human, I think. I think it's going to be the thing I'm going to start with there. But no, more seriously, whenever I was writing this, I originally had the inspiration of writing this play by seeing a lightning strike. It was a beautiful lightning strike in a big window at a call center that I was working at one point. And, I started having thoughts about, well, the call center's never taken off the phone, things like that, but like very much around that same period of time. I also got thinking about like different work experiences where I sometimes did not always feel as supported as I wanted to be. And so I started making fictionalized versions of real experiences that I had. Like none of this is true what the Fungibles experienced, but they're all based on something, right? And that's the fun of a playwright. So I tried to find ways to make it where you could find defenses for middle management, but then beyond that, how do you make it that best case for it and then fail to capture that human element anyway when you keep making the case for it otherwise, because the company just keeps winning over and over most of the time in these situations. So that was some of the fungible explanation. Whenever it came to Amberdean as a child, and then the cats, and then Sabrina May, that was fun for me because originally when I was writing this, I first thought of the workplace experiences about the guilt of responsibility in that sort of way. But then I realized the guilt of responsibility meant more than just work scenarios. It also meant family, and also meant other things. So I just kind of quickly jotted out a scene about a family scenario, and that became the bookend for the show. And so in a way, I didn't know what the show was going to become as I started it, and that's sometimes the case with writing, but by the end I started really getting interested in the question of like, would Amber Dean have made the same choice as her grandmother did 50 years later? And if she did, okay, and if she didn't, okay, but like what would lead to that sort of decision 50 years later, because that's more than just that experience. Life is happening since then. And so I thought it was a good opportunity to bring back the same actors that worked with the child to then be Sabrina May, and needed somebody to beat the cats, and I thought that was a work time. You're a very good cat, by the way. And I'm wearing socks that you gave me, space cats, to honor this.
Yes, it was very believable cat business for sure. Let me extend the fungible question to our other three fungibles. What was your experience in sort of exploring those characters as very trope-like but unreal characters? Where you go, yeah, we know exactly what we're talking about here, but we were talking about it on this other level. Like, how did you approach that?
Well, there's a hyper-reality about the interactions between the three characters, the three fungible characters, that we talked about a little bit in our rehearsals. One of those being the actual physical violence that occurred in a couple of the scenes. While workplace violence is not an unheard of thing, it's still pretty uncommon. I would hope that most human resources departments are doing what they're supposed to keep that from happening. It still happens, but I think in the framework of this play, we're looking at a little bit over the top, like you said, a little tropish scenes of power imbalance between a management person, middle management usually. There's typically a boss that they operate for, that they answer to, using their power from above to manipulate an employee. And on a personal, very personal level, for all three of the lower employees, a bereavement leave, tried to save a child, a precious heirloom, were being asked to sacrifice those in the name of the greater good of the corporate entity. And the way that Harrison wrote it is that the antagonist in each of those three scenes was someone who was following the rules and following the orders of the higher-ups and was basically powerless to do anything they wanted to do. So we saw that kind of played out in three different scenarios. And that's Amber Dean's experience and Justin's experience, he's starting that process, experience in learning what work is like in America in the 21st century.
Yeah, because I would think that anybody who's had a job for any length of time has had situations where their boss has asked them to put work above everything else.
This is a question for Rain and Jennifer. Right, Jennifer? How did you build your relationship of these two characters? Because I feel like, from my reading of it, we have this interesting experience where we see Amber Dean as a child, we see Amber Dean as an adult with children and a grandchild, and then we meet this young person, Justin, who then we find out has a child. And so all of these dynamics of hierarchy are in play. I want to sort of explore, how you experience that as actors.
The way I see it, Justin, is, coming into the workforce, and Amber Dean's already been there for a very long time, especially in this one call center. She already has kind of been submission. She knows this is how it works, this is what I do, and I do it because I'm told to do it, and she's accepted that. She's made her peace with that, and that's how she's been operating for this many years. Justin's coming in, he's new, and he doesn't have that. He still has the spark behind his eyes,
You're saying my spark is gone?
Amber Dean, baby. But no, he's still willing to sit there and go, no, this is You know, he's still there. He still hasn't been beaten in submission. He's still gonna, be, what you would think is a rebel, but I mean, when you're put into unfair circumstances, you're just acting out of your own self-interest and you're acting like a person. You're not just blindly going along with what you're told to do. So Justin is acting in a more real way, kind of, in a more true to himself way, a more honest way. And will actually stand up for himself and say, this isn't right, I'm not going to do this. No, that hurt. I'm not going to hurt myself again for you.
And your point, especially about the honesty, Amber Dean is, she is older, she's more experienced, but she's also she has different ways of looking and categorizing her life because she has to. I'm a grandmother and I'm going to be this person over here. I am the boss or the middle management at work. I'm going to be this person over here. And then she's thrust into this strange situation with somebody that she doesn't know, who is a very different generation from she is, with different ways of looking at things. And she struggles between, in some respects, I think, who is she? Is she the boss? Is she Justin's co-conspirator or victim or whatever you might want to call it in this strange, weird thing that's happening here? Is she the one that's responsible for him because she is as an older person and him as a younger person? Where is she supposed to be? And I think she really struggles with who she is during these different kinds of things and falls back and forth between them.
Whereas Justin is just himself. I mean, he's trying to be better, but.
I think that as Amber Dean is someone who's been in this work environment for a long time and faced, not to this level, hopefully, before now,
it's a mighty odd day.
Face challenges that become your responsibility, like you say. Sometimes the work is not what you expected to be. She has a line like that in here. And Justin coming in and going, this is outside of, I didn't cause this, I'm not responsible for this, I can't fix this, I just got to get through this and out of this. And that sort of dichotomy of goals, of someone who's been in a workplace situation long enough, and this writ large is a scenario that's like, oh, I'm the manager, I have to take care of this even though it is outside of my ken, versus someone going, I'm here. I can just leave. I can find another job. I'll see you later. Bye.
There's other flyers.
Yeah, there'll be other flyers. Exactly right. On the subject of tried and true cell phone sales, even before the storm, even before the blackout in the call center, even before the fungibles appear, what was the vibe of the call center to you as an audience? Did it have menace? Did it have threat? Was there something's weird here? Or was it just, this is a workplace, this is just the great fourth wall breaking office?
Workplace, here we go, we're throwing you to the wolves.
I don't know, rang really true to me. There's the one guy who loves his job and wants everybody to like him, and then you got the other people that are there for a paycheck. You got some, it was just pretty, I don't know, it didn't seem very menacing to me at the very beginning, no.
How was the shift from that initial storm scene to the call center? What did that feel like at times? Were you able to, I know that you were reading the stage directions, but did it have a sense of a time shift? Did it have a sense of sort of sea change, I guess?
Yeah, I think, it's kind of a staging question. The effects made sense to me, right? Like the flash and all of a sudden we're somewhere else. Like I can see that in my mind. Just making sure that it's clear to the audience that this is the same person. That's a directorial issue. I don't think that was hard to do. It was cool. I felt like that mirrored very much. Like there's this flat, I'm like, okay, I'm in the scene. It's this fight between this woman, or this grandmother and granddaughter. They're trying to figure it out. All of a sudden, boom, something splashed. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm getting used to this scene. And all of a sudden it was like, Surely now things are getting real weird. But I did not see those things coming, which I thought was really interesting. Like it just evolved very quickly into surrealism, which I thought was neat.
What questions do you have from experiencing Afraid of the Storm for the first time? For our playwright or actors? Let's flip the script. What questions do you have for your audience?
Oh, you're talking to me.
Or anything else? Everyone else looked at me except you.
If you guys have questions, I'd like for y'all.
Do you all think that Amber D, do you think this was and this is one of the first questions I asked Harrison, do you think she died? Do you think that she and Justin were in a different space? And that this is all the light flashing before? Because that was the first thing I thought of with Miss Funchables. It's like, okay, what is happening here? Justin, hang on to me. What is happening? What is this ride we're going on? And then suddenly he's gone too. It's like, holy crap.
It almost feels like you're running backwards through what could even be her regrets and such with some of how she dealt with and things that she let, times when she maybe let the company dictate instead of with her family or something. I mean, it does somewhat read like.
I think some strong evidence for that, at least at some part of the play, is the fact that at the very end when she meets Quantum again, I think, if I remember correctly, that's the only part of the play that contradicts reality. Where Quantum, as far as I know, Quantum actually died in her past. She meets Quantum again, which contradicts him actually being dead. He's there alive with her, which makes it sad. She's counting. Is she counting her way into the afterlife? I don't know if it starts there or if it starts earlier with the Funchables. I think she died in the lightning strike. I think the thing hit her, and she was the only one that was affected, and everything after that is her journey. I mean, it's just me listening, just hearing it right now. Who knows?
I'm with Barry.
I just want to make sure that I'm very worried about Nathan St. Clair because he was just laying there.
Oh, come on, he was breathing. His heart was beating.
Damage and all that.
Bare minimum coworker support. You're breathing. You're fine. Get back to work.
I almost wondered if the quantum thing was a callback to early on. I didn't think about this until probably 3 or 4 reads later, when young Amandine asks her grandmother if she believes in ghosts. And I mean, I've had a cat many years ago, and I could like physically sometimes feel what felt like the weight of something at the edge of the bed. I mean, it's been a long time. It's just like it can also sort of almost manifest itself physically. She can maybe physically feel it rubbing, hear the meowing, all that kind of stuff, because that's kind of what we're dealing with. So that was one of the things I was kind of curious about. It's like, is she dead? Is this a ghost situation? Is this, again, we talked about metaphysical. Can't think of like quantum universes.
There is, I wasn't sure if this is part you baked into it, like Schrodinger's cat, right? Like the quantum question of like whether or not the cat is alive, the cat is dead, like it's kind of type of question. I wasn't sure if that was something you would do, but it definitely came in my brain.
And when you're at work, are you alive or dead?
You're in the box.
What's really happening, what actually is happening, what can you translate, all that stuff is kind of.
Is work actually living, or is it just? That's another part that got me too. Was that we were exposed to like 5 different very like distinct personalities in the same workplace, and then 3 of them went to become just step-ins for any employee that was abused by the company. And
this is my office, this is where I work, and I work in a theater. I do not create any theater here. I don't direct anything, I don't act in anything, I don't design anything, I don't write anything. I'm the business, the administrative side of theater. I sit at a desk, spreadsheets, and invoices and calendars. And so, for me, leaving a theater to go to another theater to do theater, where do I find my meaning, even in a scenario like that, where ostensibly I'm in the arts? And like, where do you find that meaning, whether it's inside your Schrodinger's box of your 9 to 5, or is it in the places you go and the people you see after? And for Nathan, it looks like it is here. And what is his life outside of this? And for Amber-Dean, it's maybe more in the middle. And for Justin doesn't know yet. So it's friendship. I think, are we having a real rainstorm? What did you do?
This happened during our last rehearsal.
This actually it's all plays. This is some spell or curse. Well, yes.
Yeah. It reminds me of some of the Native American teachings in that the red lightning, the red streak, say, would represent certain parts of the spirit world. And so, and the lightning is a very powerful experience and can bring on certain visions and things. And so I was curious to have a conversation with you later here about.
That's my mom, by the way.
She's going to be enough to back out and talk
these are all a series of visions that are occurring because the lightning in the spirit world is happening in there. And she and Justin and the fungibles, I guess, are picking up or somehow crossing paths, picking up on that energy and having the visions that are doing it. I find you to be very in tune with the spirit world there. Yeah. In that way, from some of the teachings I've been taught. So, yeah. Clearly not what everybody else.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Whenever I was writing this, I guess I was thinking of red flashes being powerful in different ways. I wasn't tying it together with the Native American way right away. I was thinking of a video game called Lisa the Painful, which is incredibly dark.
That's really sick.
Yeah.
It's a good video game.
It is. But man, it needs every trigger warning.
That makes so much sense. Yeah.
So, but then tying it back to what you're saying, Mom, and I'll share with the audience that I've never had this presented to the public for the whole script before. In 2020, I had like 2 private readings, including one that went online just for family at that time. Mom, I don't think you and I ever got to have a talk about that. At one point, whenever I was bringing stuff back to my place, I saw a sticky note on the script that you had that used the verbiage of vision on there, and so I incorporated it in this, and so I appreciate that. I did think that helped frame a bit more with the context of the play there, and so yes, I would love to talk with you about it.
Harrison, do you have any questions for your
Yes. And again, I really appreciate everybody being here. I guess trying to get to the feedback that could be most helpful for me in the development side of this. One of the things that's come up in the private readings is senses of confusion that sometimes comes up. And I don't know that all confusion is bad or all confusion is equal, but I wanted to ask you guys if there are moments of confusion that you felt like needed a conversation that we've not talked about yet.
Especially if you had not been reading the stage directions
just to make sure I'm understanding, that's a confusion that, some confusion helps with the mystery, some confusion hurts with understanding the narrative. It sounds like that's something that.
I would be confused to understand exactly what the ventricles were doing
Thank you.
at that point.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I saw his hand over here, but.
Yes, so, yeah, I think with a bigger production, that would have been more clear, but there's a lot of confusion going on. Things are kind of disappearing, and people are moving, and then a character who was just speaking isn't there anymore. Like, it seems like there's a lot of confusion, but that seems understandable in this surreal type situation where stuff like that's happening. Is there a specific kind of thing you're looking for more comment on?
Going off of what you're saying there, I guess where I'm curious about understanding that you're feeling a lot of confusion there, did you feel like it kept you from understanding, say, an arc of the show or from enjoying the show or anything like that? Or was that confusion that you could comfortably still enjoy the show despite it or through it? Checking it like that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can get that.
Okay.
I was able to follow.
Great. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I personally thought the confusion around, especially like the first and second unconventionals, what added to the story, because if it had been perfectly explained, I don't think I would have been as intrigued and confused and as interested to find out more about them. And I feel like I would have been less engaged, and that added a lot to the mystery element to it, and the suspense that made it more of a world.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Does anybody else wish to speak to the confusion aspects that they may have felt throughout this?
I'm also going to say, I guess, probably because I've been fortunate enough to read this a few times, or so many times, with the fundamentals, if there was any confusion of like, who they were, where they came from, kind of stuff, I felt like it was kind of even just lightly explained after each scenario in a way between, the questions between Justin and Andrew. It was just like, do you know them? And you like, and I think we kind of did that. So I think if there is confusion, I feel like there is some clarification there.
It's very much like you can say in Mary Gerard, where like she has theories around her, and then she goes slowly insane, and then they take on people who are putting her in the penitentiary. In different stages I've seen, it's not explained. You get context clues that these are figments of her imagination, or maybe not, you know what I mean? So like, I think that that's something that in staging I can be pretty clear at.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Does anybody else wish to speak to that? I don't think that's a hand. Okay. I do very much appreciate that. I had another question. I forgot it. Oh no, I'm a little nervous still. It's all good. Oh no, I lost thought. It's fine. Let me just ask you guys, as far as the cast goes, did you enjoy, no, I don't care if you like the show or not, I'm not trying to ask that, but like as far as you reading your role goes, did you find things that you enjoyed out of that? Okay, that's encouraging.
Absolutely.
May I ask also if there were moments or opportunities that you found while reading the roles that you would like considered?
I mean, basically every time I read it, and it's only been a few times to have the opportunity to read it, but every time it was like, oh, I'm starting to see a little bit more into what she's thinking, what she's doing, and the struggles that she's going through to try to figure out which role she's supposed to play right now. And I think that further reads would probably even make that deeper.
So you found that the first reading was perhaps difficult. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you made progress over multiple reads.
Yes, I mean, the
Yeah,
first
I saw
time
that.
I was just reading it for the text, the plot, and then we got to the fundamentals, and I was like, what on earth is going on here? There's people dancing around, and then afterwards it was like, oh, then starting to make those connections as things progressed. And I think what you were saying is right, is, having a word of explanation, Justin's questions, do you know them? Those kinds of things helped solidify what was actually happening, at least as far as her mindset as I went on.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. We'll give a shout out to JP Shuff, who was nice enough to read the script beforehand and give me some notes that I found was helpful with some of that edging with it. So very much appreciate that. What else?
Most of what Justin says feels like very natural progression of the last thing that he said, and a lot of the things that he says feel straight out of my own head, like very satisfying to say. The only thing with him is he asks a lot of very convenient questions.
Convenient questions.
Very convenient questions, like, oh, he happens to ask her about Spider-Man. He asks her what kind of cat he has so she can launch into all the explanation about her cat. He asks he could be an inquisitive and curious person, and he could genuinely, want to know about Aberdeen, and I think that's true. But some of the things that he says just feel awful convenient. You know what I mean?
I think so, so he needs to be a podcaster.
He would be a serviceable journalist. Maybe better podcaster, actually, but...
I appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Does anybody else wish to share any opportunities they may have seen in the roles that they're playing? It's okay.
I think it was cool that, I won't speak for all the of us, but for the Fungibles, we kind of all take on the abuser and the victim in each of these different scenarios. And the way that, this was written and the way that it was directed in this, call it a fantasy, call it a dream, there's an idea of regret, like, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to take your bereavement leave, but this is the situation we're in. And I think that's something that speaks to what I know in the literature I work with, administrative violence, where that can perpetuate and cause physical harm. And it can work like sick leave, right? That's something that, if you're denied, can actually cause you bodily harm. And I think that's really fascinating as an actor to be on both sides of it, and relatively quickly in this kind of nether space, where you're getting dragged by the hair, and then you're kicking someone in the ribs. I think that's very visceral. It's a real treatise.
You ever heard the term, well, it's a vulgar term, but it's things roll downhill. Yes. Yeah. It's kind of like,
yeah, exactly.
What was the term? I'm sorry.
Things rolls downhill.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean to him, so he means to her.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
It does show a cycle of people that are in the corporate structure that move up during their careers. For Nathan, he started off having this humiliation that was dealt upon him to the point we see him earlier in the play. He's one of the leaders of this call center, and he's trying to be cool, but he's still being, here's the paperwork and all this kind of stuff. And so he's learned, and hopefully he's a pretty good guy, but the other people that can happen to. They can grow up in the culture of the company and become those supervisors that they hated.
Yeah.
And it was just a cycle that perpetuates itself.
Yeah, especially if it's your culture. We live in an individualist competitive culture, and so that kind of behavior is rewarded.
Sometimes it's the only way to survive.
Yeah. So.
We also live in a capitalistic culture where I think, that's where the administrative violence becomes a little more pointed, because you're literally trying to keep money and food on your table, not money, food on your table, and with your job. So your job being threatened is not a casual thing at all. It is violence, and so anytime your job is threatened over something that seems to you to be, it should be more important. Going to my grandmother's funeral is more important than my job, but it's not to anybody else. And it's really, really made a good point, really interesting thing to think about.
We're discussing Nathan, now Nathan's kind of trying to put cool that Nathan was the guy who got his tie up. And so it's interesting because it kind of makes me think about, just sort of how the pain doesn't go with. It was a question that you asked, Aberdeen had that really, formative experience with her cat, and that pain never went away, but it's explicitly described later in the play. So for him, get the tiger thing, it's from that point and that pain that you experience, you have to make the choice of how you're going to respond. Do I become this jerk middle management person, or do I try to be kinder because of
You recognize the pain that was done to you and sort of pledge, I'm not going to do that when I get up in the company if I make it that far? Or do you say, well, I was able to survive. It's the classic family abuse scenario. I mean, it's kind of seen and played out in the workplace. If you have abuse at home, sometimes you grow up and abuse your kids. That's an extreme example, but it's the same scenario that can be played out in the workplace. Hopefully you can rise above that.
But I think it's cool that it kind of ties back
Yes.
to, that like former pain, how it never really goes away.
Yes, and Amber Dean seemed to go through a really similar thing. Like when Amber Dean goes through losing her cat at the beginning and her grandmother not letting her go out, by the end, she's kind of done a pledge to go against that and let Sabrina go out. Nathan went through a really negative experience when he first joined the company. It was really hard on him. He didn't like it. And so then he came back and he's a really positive person. And so to see them both change like that,
I think, on that hopeful, we will call our talk back to a close. A wonderful way to end it. As you go out into the world tomorrow, whether you're going to your 9 to 5 at 9, or whether you're going to have a day off, or whatever you're doing, maybe we all be the best versions of ourselves, and not let the late-stage capitalist hellscape that surrounds us take us down. Thank you all again so much for being here today. Thank you for me at the Clayton Center for the Arts. Thank you from Harrison at Next From.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of the arts community here in East Tennessee. More art, more money for art. I was going to say less money, not so. More money for art, for people, for life, for all the things that make it worth living. Thank you all so much. Please be safe. It does sound like we have a storm. If you parked down on the bottom level, when you go out this way, if you go to your right, there is an elevator. You can take it down to the bottom level, and then you won't have to go down the stairs in the wet. You will be still in this building, but it will save you a little bit of damp on the steps there, which you're welcome to do, of course.
Can I just say thank you to Harrison. He has worked
Yes.
incredibly hard.
You guys have been great to work with, and I'm just going to trying to keep giving. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. Thank you guys for being here as well, for giving your time and attention and everything else that you give. If I could, with the cast, I'd love to get a picture with us real quick, and I got something for you guys as well whenever we wrap up on this. For everybody else, yes, please be safe. It does sound like a training, and definitely keep you posted as we do more things. There's several ways to follow Next Run Productions for news. You can follow on multiple websites, and we have our own website as well. So thank you again.